I think we want to recognize that the American people get tired of wars very quickly. In fact, there was a bill that was introduced by someone on the right in the Republican Party, and it was a terrible name they put. It was called the Ukraine Fatigue Act, but they were playing on this notion that the American people get tired of war, and they do. And it's good now that we have some people running for office in different parties who are talking about the $114 billion plus that we are sending to Ukraine instead of using to fix the climate or deal with all our problems here at home, that there are people out there who are reaching millions of people, and they find that the support, they get tremendous support from the public when they talk about the need to get out of this war in Ukraine. So yes, these Democratic liberals in elected office have absolutely no spine. They are, it's despicable, the way that they are hiding from this whole issue. They just don't talk about it at all, basically. And we have to out them. And I think outing them means we push them in town halls. We should be doing sit-ins in their offices. They'll be out in their hometowns in all of August. Great to try to get them there. And then September, as soon as they're back in and we have this bill that they should be supporting, I think that we should be extreme in our lobbying to push them to say something. Why are they not supporting this bill? What do they support? They should.
Well, I'll reach out to my congresswoman, but you know, I have very little hope for that.
Listen, the one good thing.
Worst. You ought to run against her, Jennifer.
The worst thing, the one thing you could say that's a silver lining about Wasserman Schultz is that there is no second guessing who she's aligned with. She is aligned with the military-industrial complex as much as any major conglomerate in our crooked system. If you look at all of the industries that she is firmly in bed with, the MIC is right at the top. So I'm less concerned about somebody like her as I would be somebody like a Barbara Lee, who is running for the U.S. Senate right now and has chosen to be quiet about this issue when she was the one sitting U.S. Congress member. And this was a completely different political environment in the summer of 2002 when she stood up and said, I'm not supporting a war in Iraq. I know that this is BS. I understand we were attacked less than a year ago on 9/11, but I'm not supporting this. And she took a hell of a lot of heat for it. What the hell is she going to take right now by standing up and saying, yeah, this is a absolute, this is our generation's Vietnam. This is not going to end with any type of decisive victory in any way that you think. That's not what this is. And the same is true for members of the squad. You know, we talk all the time about he may be as conservative as it gets in U.S. politics, but Thomas Massie at least has a spine. He at least stands up for what he believes in. He's somebody who stood up to Donald Trump and said, I ain't supporting his ass. And it's like, okay, you know what? You don't have to agree with him politically, but at least you can respect that he is an honest actor. And there's very few of them that seem to do that. They just want to go wherever the wind blows. I'm sure you have contacts on the Hill that, you know, will off the record whisper to you exactly what's really going on here. What have you heard as far as why they're just not willing to take a stand?
Because they're told that on national security, we have to be united as a party. You don't know the things that the administration knows. Stay out of this. Focus on the domestic issues, which is what the public cares about. It's not good for your campaign. It's not good for the party to show division on national security issues, particularly an issue as important as this. So that's what they're hearing. And, you know, I hear from people saying, well, how does it feel to be on the side of Marjorie Taylor Greene? How does it feel to be on the side of these, of Lauren Boebert? And I said, well, how does it feel to be on the side of President Lula in Brazil, the leaders of 6 African nations who are trying to mediate, Pope Francis, and the majority of people represented throughout the world who don't want to get involved in this, who see it as a proxy war and say we're not going to take sides. Or I talk about the religious leaders who just signed a new letter supporting the Pope Francis's efforts at mediation. So there are lots of people not in the Congress who are on our side. And, we just have to build up from the bottom. One of the things that has pained me tremendously in all of this is the lack of support from the environmental movement. We have written a letter, a very mild letter saying, this war is terrible for the environment because of this reasons, and therefore peace talks to ceasefire would be a good thing. We get groups like Extinction Rebellion, Extreme Energy, some of the more radical groups. We got 350.org to sign, and then they pulled their name off of it. We couldn't get Bill McKibben to sign it. And look at Greta Thunberg, who was just meeting with Zelensky. So getting the environmentalists has been very, very difficult. We're still trying, but it's been so disappointing.
Well, there's a
I have
reason
some theories on that. We actually did a show not that long ago with the authors of Bright Green Lies. And, a lot of the stuff in the environmental movement is not necessarily really that environmental, right? Like it's almost like propagandized. And again, the concept of a Green New Deal is awesome. Love the concept. But when we're talking about the real environmental solutions, the bright green lies being that, oh, we'll just switch over to solar and wind and everything will be fine. Like we can actually do that. And it's just not feasible. So there's other things that are bigger at play. And I think a lot of the environmentalists are not looking that far into the future.
Yeah, the other problem that you have to consider, and this was something that happened during the 2020 election, was when particularly the Sunrise Movement, and we are very friendly with one of the top people in the Sunrise Movement. I told him, and I will tell anybody, the second you lock arms with the Democratic Party establishment, it's over. Whatever intentions you had as an organization, as a nonprofit, throw them out the window, because the Democratic Party is now your maker, and they will decide for you whether you can do anything related to an environmental push. So the only group that's out there right now that really seems to just be, giving the middle finger to the Democratic establishment is Climate Defiance. We had one of the leaders of their group on our live stream. It was a great conversation, and they're definitely disrupting. I think that that's the best shot that we've got.
Doesn't it make your heart feel good, Medea, when you see those kids sitting in and putting up a sign and making Amy Klobuchar have to leave? Doesn't it make your heart happy?
I love them, and I talk to them regularly, and I just bow down to them. I think they're the greatest.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.